Hey everybody, it's GoblinX, and welcome back to the Through the Omenpaths Early Access event. This is the Magic Arena in-universe version of Marvel's Spider Man, the latest Magic the Gathering set coming to pre-releases this weekend. Thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for providing me with the promotional early access token, and with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into this. This is my first draft of the set, and it's a brand new way to draft. This set has about 180-ish cards in it instead of the usual 260-ish, so a much smaller set. And with that, they've designed a new draft format where you draft with only 4 people instead of 8 people. You get to pick 2 cards at a time, so it's going to be interesting to see how that changes things. A couple of things that they've done with that new structure is they've made it so it's a much quicker way to draft. It's a much more hop in, hop out kind of way to do things because, again, it's easier to establish that kind of draft in paper with friends, to get 4 friends together to do it. And it's quicker because you're taking 2 cards at a time instead of just one. So you're building your deck quite a bit faster. And even the prize out structure they made on Magic Arena, they made that much quicker as well. It's you play till 4 wins or 2 losses, so about the same ratio as a Premier draft in terms of the number of wins to losses required to get a full trophy run. 4 wins or 2 losses versus 7 wins or 3 losses. Pretty similar in terms of win rate required, but much faster. Whether you trophy run or you O2 drop, either way, quite a bit less games. You get onto the next deck quicker. So if you're a drafter like myself that just really likes the drafting process, the deck building process, and you want to play with as much of a variety of decks as possible and get on to the next deck, get on to the next draft, this is a nice new way to do things and move on to the next draft quicker. So very interesting. I think it has its perks in being a very quick draft format like that where you can move on to the next deck faster. I think it'll also be an easier experience for new players outside of the time constraints of having to try to take 2 cards at a time relatively quickly. That's certainly going to be stressful, but easier, I think, in general to get the draft going, to read the signals, to kind of force a specific color pair as well when there's only 4 people at the draft pod. And when you get to take 2 cards at a time, you can just take 2 really good cards together and just lock in from there a lot easier than you could in a full 8-person pod. So it has its various perks. It also has its weaknesses, of course, but I'm very interested to see how it plays out. So without further ado, let's hop into the Marvel's Spider Man Pick 2 draft format. Alright, so here we are for Pack 1, Pick 1 and 2. We are immediately going to take our rare here, like a bigger, better Gaunty. We get to steal 2 cards out of our opponent's deck and cast them as long as they remain exiled with mana from any color. But what is the next pick? That is the question. We've got a really big, really color restrictive finisher here. That's interesting. I don't think I want to take that alongside a great black rare, but I don't think the black cards are strong enough to want to take one of those alongside this. Maybe the lifelinker, maybe this hybrid mana removal spell. We can play this in black. We don't need to be playing red to play, and it's 3 mana, deal 3 at sorcery. Not the greatest, but it works well with the mayhem mechanic. That's a mechanic that lets you cast anything you discarded if it has the mayhem ability for its mayhem cost the turn that you discarded it. So that would make this pretty reasonable. And there are some cards in black alone. We don't have to be exactly black-red to use that have that mechanic. So that seems interesting enough to me, and I will potentially go in that direction. One thing you really want to keep in mind in this draft is that there are only allied colored cards at uncommon and common. So if you start the draft with a great rare that's like black-white, those are enemy colors. They're on the opposite ends of the color wheel. You can look at the color wheel on the back of any Magic card. So if you take a black-white rare, you're not going to get any signpost uncommons or anything for that strategy. So you do want to try to keep in mind what the 5 allied colors are. If you don't know them, again, just look at the back of the Magic card and try to get a little bit used to that, because this is a set where knowing your allied colors is going to matter. Black-red, red-green, green-white, white-blue, blue-black. And then, of course, once we're back on black, black loops back over to black-red. Those are the allied color pairs. Those are the 5 2-color pairs that have commons and uncommons, like this mayhem payoff here. That seems reasonable. That said, we don't want to get like cut off of this immediately. We could just take 2 good off-color removal spells and just stay open to doing anything. Yeah, I don't hate that. The biggest part that I hate about this is that the best cards in the pack, the 2 off-color removal spells, are the 2 enemy colors to our pack 1 pick 1. They are green and white. Black's allies are blue and red. So neither of these cards fits into a 2-color deck with our pack 1 pick 1 rare, but they both seem like pretty powerful cards in general, so I want to stay open to potentially heading in their directions. Here we have the Gallant Citizen, which is really good with the web slinging mechanic, where you can return a tapped creature to your hand to replay it for cheaper. Well, not replay it, but to play it for cheaper. So the Citizen's great with that. And then the Scorpion Sting is just excellent removal for if we end up in a black deck here. So we kind of have 2 different decks that we're building right now, and we will have to lock in and pick one once we get to pack 2. I mean, I guess if we don't care about missing out on specific 2-color cards, we could be going, you know, black-green or black-white. It's just not something you generally want to do. You don't want to find yourself in that direction. Easy Scorpion Sting here, but the other card is interesting. I might go with the counterspell here. 5 mana instant, draw 3, or 5 mana counterspell, draw a card. It's like a miniature cryptic command, kind of, which is obviously a very powerful play. So maybe heading towards blue-black villains. That is an allied color pair, and I think one that could do some pretty fun things if we get there. So this is a combat trick, the secret identity here that could... Oops. The pick timer is insanely fast, I have to say. I don't think that card draw engine is very good. It's super, super slow. All right, well, we missed out on a couple picks there because I didn't realize how fast the pick timer was going to go. Obviously, my first time drafting the set, my first time doing timed pick 2 draft. Well, no, I guess Foundations, the midweek Magic. I don't remember the pick timer being that fast there, but I knew Foundations very well. And this is a brand new set, so interesting. What is our rare here? 4 mana, exile top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you can play those cards. Tap for 2 mana any colors, but only to cast spells from exile. Interesting. Probably not very good. 4 mana, draw 2. The mana rock part of this is meaningless because you're not casting other cards from exile. There's no mechanic in the set that's about casting things from exile. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to go for another knife trick, Pumpkin Bomb, if you're drafting in paper, and a Tombstone here. Okay. Our pick 3 and 4 out of this pack. No blue cards, and the black card's pretty bad. Sad one there. Sad one. How deep are we on each color right now? I think we're definitely in black. We have a bunch of Scorpion Stings. Green and blue are equally deep. White is the least likely, so black, blue, or black, green. In black, blue, we could get some good commons and uncommons that are dual colored, but if we go black, green, we don't. That said, the blue is non-existent here, so we might as well focus up on good green stuff. There's a fight removal spell. There's a mana dork. There's a big finisher. I'm going to take the mana dork and the finisher there. I think our black can hopefully get us loaded up with all the removal we need with these Scorpion Stings and pumpkin bombs. Blue card here now. That's perfectly reasonable. Draw a card, then up to 1 creature connives. Also a red rare. 1 mana, 1/2. Whenever you attack with 2 or more spiders, put a +1/+1 counter on them, and they're the spider themselves. Interesting. I don't think we're going to have enough spiders. That feels more constructed focused. We'll go for another big green finisher and the blue draw spell there. Here's a green removal spell. Here's a green mana ramp card. Actually, this removal spell is better than the common one, right? Oh, definitely. All right, so we'll go for the green removal and the green ramp card. I guess we're going to be some off-color stuff, which will be fun. Wow, white removal spell came all the way back around. Let's go for the mana fixing out of green then. Grabs whatever basic that we need, and the white removal spell. Maybe we get to somehow glue these things together with enough fixing. Take a random piece of fixing. Actually, no, let's take the beef and the removal there. Because we don't need fixing towards red. That's like the one color we don't have a single card in right now. Okay. Pack 3. 5 mana, 4/3. When it enters, put a +1/++ counter on each other creature you control, period. And it is a white card or a green card. Oh, easy pick. This is a great one. Love me some really flexible hybrid cards like that. Great in a white deck and great in a green deck. Any kind of either of those. Would be happy to see that. Let's curve out well. I've appreciated the Cruel Caracols, the Craven's Cats, or whatever. On the opposing side of the table, got beaten down for a lot of damage by those. Although the 4/4 that makes a treasure is also pretty good. These are both really solid, beefy green cards. But let's go lower curve if we're taking a card that's going to put a counter on the whole board. Oh, we got Sandman. Power toughness equal to the number of lands you control. Can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or less. And you can return it and a land from your grave to the battlefield tapped for 5. So pretty big creature that's hard to block and keeps coming back. Potentially. You do have to self-mill a little bit. I think you do need a land in your grave to activate that. I'm actually not entirely sure. What is this equipment? If it was cast from your graveyard, attached to a creature you control, +2/+0 flying and haste for 2? 3 to play, 2 to equip. Seems pretty scary. Get a 2/1 spider, gain 1. Spiders get +1/+1, so it's a 3/2 spider. That's an interesting enchantment as well. Didn't have the time to fully read or register that, but it seemed pretty decent. Random equipment. We're pretty locked in on an off-color archetype here. Green-black nonsense. Doesn't seem terrible. We're deep into black, which means we have a lot of random villains. Actually, we don't. We're deep into black in the sense of just having a bunch of black removal. So this might actually not be the greatest. But there's nothing else really here, so I'll speculate on it. I'm gonna guess all these lizards are villains, so that's good. Little Conniver, discard card, filler stuff to wrap up the draft. Full play set of lizards. Love to see it. Dr. Connors would be proud. Let us see what we have got here. If we take everything out and just play green and black, what do we have access to? Quite a few cards, 47 cards still, so I still get to make a lot of cuts. Even if I don't splash anything in. Let's go for like 15 to 17 creatures here. We're currently on 20. So let's cut 3 to 5 creatures. Do just the standard, somewhat aggressive mid-rangey deck. They're pretty good fixing with some arachnologists here. I've got 6 2-mana villains out of green alone. Might actually have decent villain support for Tombstone to be actual graveyard recursion. And decent villain to support for the flying finisher. I believe Vulture. I don't hate all these mana dorks. 2 5s, 3 6s to wrap the game up. That's 17 creatures if we do it like that. And then I could stick to pure 2 colors where I don't need the Chariot for fixing. I don't care too much about the +2/+2 equipments. Feel like just running a bunch of removal is fine. The Pumpkin Bombs are the weakest because we don't really have any mayhem spells going on. So we'll cut those removal but keep the rest in, and that would be the final 4 cuts. Seems very reasonable to me. I don't mind it. Build our own archetype here. Green-black villains. The Craven color pair. Could play the Chariot to help mana fix us, and then maybe like splash in Shrouds or something, but I've got more than enough on-color removal, more than enough on-color creatures, some good finishers. I think this looks like a solid deck, so I'm just going to lock it in here, hop into the gameplay, and see how this pick 2 draft plays out for us. Reasonable opening hand here. We don't start things till turn 3 though, and we're on the draw. So we can get punished for a slower opener, but I don't think that I should mulligan this, considering we have one of our strongest rares, a really solid piece of removal, and some good ramp for anything we draw into as well. Both of our colors well represented in the mana base. Ooh, this is a fantastic rare. This is Doc Ock's Tentacles. 1 mana equipment, +4/+4 for equip 5. That would already be a fantastic card in draft. But the fact that it auto-equips to your mana value 5 or greater creatures, absolutely bonkers card. So I'm terrified of that, and we don't have anything in this deck that can deal with it. So that could be a very big problem for us, because we just can't blow it up. It's going to make even their 1/1s bigger than the majority of our cards, and we'll have to spend removal on just 1/1 tokens even. Okay. So we have access to 5 mana here. Two less guys control a permanent mana value 4 or greater. Okay, well that's not going to happen yet. So I can only play 1 spell this turn despite the mana that I have available. I'll just play the 4/4 here. Pass through. There's the Oblivion Ring removal spell, exile removal against our card that could theoretically come back from grave. That's obviously a very big bummer. More mana. All the mana rampers here. Get this to 4 power, play and equip, but the problem with that is then the Helm still just wins it. They just slap the Helm on the fighter, and what am I going to do about it? It's not like anything else in my hand is the solution to that problem, but I can at least be mana efficient for now and just focus on doing the best I can to dump my whole hand out and have as much on this board to start trying to counter race them here. Crack back at them after they like equip and swing. All right. That is absolutely disgusting. Jump into the sky and the free equip on that, so they have a 7/8 flyer. And that's too big. It's 8 toughness. I can only do so much damage here. So much damage being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm 1 power off, so I'd have to play Wings and equip and play Team Up, but I'm a mana off from doing that. I guess I could do it like by tapping my entire board. It is an instant, so because it's an instance, I guess that works. Oh wait, no, I can't. I can't. I'm a creature off, so I'd have no way to team up away the 8 toughness. Wow. All right. Well, we just got absolutely slammed by Doc Ock's Tentacles. They got the main deckable removal for our equipment, and that'll be GG. I can't block this with more than 1 creature, so I can only chump, which is why I have not been blocking it. The chumps are quite bad. Oh, man. Yeah, what can I say? Doc Ock's Tentacles are absolutely the truth. That is going to be 0-1 heading into Game 2. Here we are for Game 2 against fellow limited grinder Nikolai Bolas. Makes a lot of great draft videos, good draft tips and guidelines before pre-releases and stuff. Highly recommend his channel if you haven't checked it out. We are unfortunately on the draw, so Nikolai is going to have the aggro advantage of being on the play, the tempo advantage. Nikolai's on blue-black. That is a villainous color pair. This opening hand's actually pretty awkward. There's that Aerialist that's been pretty annoying. Draw another 6-drop. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sure, 1/3 Flying Vigilance keeps milling themselves. No, don't give me my put a counter on everybody card with only one creature on my board. That's a tragedy. At least the Lizards is holding everybody but the Vision off. Quite good. I'm not going to try to like block and team up for a trick here against a bunch of open blue and black mana. That sounds like a bad idea. Okay. I'm going to tap out for a creature next turn and the turn after and the turn after. I don't think it's crazy to team up now, but I think I'll still hold off. There's going to be a juicy Lurking Lizards. So Nikolai's really filling that grave for any kind of graveyard recursion style spells. This is going to force removal here by being a gigantic reach creature. And we're just trying to get to a position where we just clear out the Death Toucher and then jam for a bajillion. Bounce spell on the Lizards, get rid of all its counters is pretty good. 3 cards left in hand here. See if there is removal for our gigantic reach card. Pastry. Not yet. Not yet. And once there is, we just drew another copy. Alright, let's recast some Lizards here. Well, recast one and then hardcast the other. See if we get the Death Toucher out of here. Sure. Even if Nikolai goes for instant speed removal on Web Keepers, we still kill the Leonin here. Okay, he's going to bounce the Leonin, draw a card to save that. So we still trade into these two. With that buff. So still get value off it. And the cost reduction, letting us do it for just 2 is great. Just a flyer there. Wow, Nikolai does not have nearly as much removal as I expected from black. Well, we've only got one potential play here. Let's do it pre-combat for the buff. Majority of our board is villains, so this should be quite nice for us. Okay, well the villains are dead now. But we've got the 4/6 and the 6/6 Trampler. There's no Death Touch over there anymore. Doc Ock's Tentacles into the Revenge of the Sinister Six. Just get killed by 2 unbeatable bombs in a row, and it's only 2 losses in pick 2 draft. What a way to start it off. Man. Suppose I can kill the biggest flyer again. It's something. They just start chipping at us with the Death Toucher now. Knife Trick for the 1/3 before we had a 4 mana value or better spell to play. Okay. Sack a 2/1, draw a card, lose one. Draws are really not it. We just get Nikolai to mill here. 7 cards in library to kill us with? Is this a May ability? You have to connive. Let's just mill Nikolai out, I guess. I mean, I need to draw some non-legendary creatures to do that, but still a possibility. This one have to connive? This one does have to connive. Five cards left. Four cards left. 3 cards left. I'm getting to like 1 card left and then he just kills us. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 2 cards left, then 1 card's left, then we die. Okay, or he plays that. Only got 1 card left. Now I can kill him with the team up because he chose to cast that? Mill him out? Oh! Insane. His deck was literally too good. It drew too many cards. I mean, what else can you expect from a great drafter like Nikolai? That's wild. Yeah, we had no business getting that in the end. That was so close. I didn't even play that outright. I should have played this one because the ward would have made it way less likely they could counter that. If I played this and then went for the team up and they had another one of those bounce spells, they could have non-kicked bounced it to not mill out. But with this, they wouldn't have had the mana up to pay for the ward. So I should have led with this and then played the team up. Oh boy. Well, I cannot say I expected that, and I cannot say that I particularly earned that victory, but I can say I am very glad to still be able to play this deck. I did not want to get just 0-2 out, only get to play 2 games with it. So now at least 3 games of Magic with this deck. We are 1-1 heading into game number 3. All right, here we are on the play for game number 3. Got a Sandman coming up if they don't blow up our mana ramp. That's a villain as well, so we can pick it up with our Tombstone. Or Nil, Vessel of Valgavoth. Our opponent is on blue-white. That is the modified color pair. About putting counters, ores, or equipment on your cards. Let's see, artifact creatures enter tapped. It's a little annoying, but fine. That's Spider-Woman, Stunning Savior in paper. What is this thing in paper? I'll check it out after this. Spider Manifestation. I'm surprised that that is licensed. Well, I guess Spider-Man, Spider Manifestation. It's a pun. Yeah, that sounds like a Marvel licensed joke. No, not the exile removal again. Our poor Sandman. We even had regular graveyard recursion for him this time. Such a tragedy, really. Such a tragedy. You know, 2/2 flyer, I don't think I need to immediately Scorpion Sting. I mean, this thing's got reach, so I could even just hold off on a block later. I'll save this thing for something potentially more threatening. Whoa, bold deck from our opponent, 4 color. And just the perfect mana in the opening hand, 4 different colors of basic lands, no mana fixing required. This buffing all the spiders is spooky. But you know what's spookier than that? Casting spells out of our opponent's library. Ooh, counter on our whole board? Definitely. And then also the best removal spell, the Sudden Strike, right? I don't need to play any removal right now. Not the supportive parents. Evil. Bad spider. Green-white dual land. Those do seem like our opponent's main colors. Well, there's the splash. This one is the Amazing Spider-Man. 5/5 Vigilance Reach. All of the other cards have web-slinging green, white, blue. Alright, sketchy. Couldn't just hold a Sudden Strike up for it. I'm at 12, I shouldn't attack here. Even though I could try to get the Scorpion Sting off the attack. Let's not do that at 12. No, not +1/+1 counters. Get that out of reach of our Leyline Weaver. That's brutal. I don't think I can Scorpion Sting it right now because I think I have to Sudden Strike Spider-Man instead. They might have the 1 and a white +1/+1 counter hexproof trick. That card is very main deckable because it's a +1/+1 counter and hexproof. Or destroy a creature with power 4 or greater. Okay, luckily no such trick there. And there's a giant reach creature. Perfect draw. Cast it off the Weaver, so I have the mana up for Sting. Alright, I can't actually block with it right now because all my stuff enters tapped. Well, they didn't have any combat tricks last... Oh, boy. Oh, that's just going to exile the big guy. They didn't have any combat tricks last turn, so I think I'm comfortable with blocking and Scorpion Stinging here. Especially because now they have less mana up. Okay, now they're literally tapped out. Okay, that can tutor for any bomb from their deck. It's mildly threatening, but they're at a low enough life total. I think I can pressure them through that. No villains in grave still. Only one villain on the board. Go squad go. Please kill the villain. I don't know why you would over the 4-3, but maybe they will. They will not. They'll trade into the 4-3. Take the rest of the damage. At some point, you probably have to bite the bullet and just play the 2-2 to go wide and try to push lethal more likely. But I'm too greedy for that. Okay, so they're going to web sling somebody to recast that and get its ETB here. Yep. Whenever you cast a creature, put a ++1 counter on a creature and give it flying. It's quite strong. They're at 3 and they only take 2 on board. It's such a tragedy. Well, they kill one of these, go to 1, and then they might even choose to kill the 3/4 because it's the biggest creature, in which case I get to recast it because it's a villain. And we're incredibly happy. Okay, okay. We do love to see that. Now, I don't have a reach blocker up here, so if they play 2 creatures, I am dead on board. That's the one issue with this play. Oh, no! Okay, well, they're playing 2 creatures here, so I'm dead regardless. But the creature they put back in their hand puts a counter on a creature, so I played that wrong. I definitely should have held the reach creature up. Because off of just the referee alone, they would have made the flyer lethal. Alright. Brutal, but fair enough. Yeah, we could have won that game if I had the Weaver to jump with. The recast of Wrench would probably get there. Although, I guess it was still sort of anyone's game, right? Because I don't attack with Weaver there. And then I'm only attacking with a 3/4 and a 2/3. If I only attack with a 3/4 and a 2/3, they kill the 3/4, they block the 2/3, they take no damage. They stay at 3. Then I have to chump. Then I play the Wrench this turn. These 3 as attackers. This wouldn't have died. It wouldn't have blocked the 3/3. This would have blocked the 3/4. And this would have blocked the 2/3. So they'd force the chump and have 3 separate blockers up against 3 attackers, me recasting Wrench. I actually still lose that game unless Wrench, which would cost 4 mana, finds 3 mana or less removal out of their deck that could kill their +1/+1 counter flying thingy. So they'd need to have another Mothwing Shroud or Web thing. Okay, I mean, obviously I punted that pretty bad, but odds are we potentially still just die there. Now, I probably also missed a point of damage somewhere earlier in that game. That's another line where we could have got there, but such is the way of life. 1 and 2 will be the record for the first run of the Pick 2 Omenpath draft. I think this was a fun deck. I think it was probably stronger than a 1/2 on average. I have to imagine this is at least an average deck here. Premium removal, some good, strong rares in the deck as well. The mana curve is obviously a little bit goofy, but the mana dorks to help make up for that, I think, is pretty reasonable. Fun little deck, looked reasonably powerful, didn't quite get there, but of course, a bit of that being human error. That last game may have very well been winnable, in which case we are 2-1 right now heading into game number 4. But when you've only got 2 losses to give, very easy to get out of a run super quickly, as we have seen in the Arena Direct events, where you got to win like 7 wins before 2 losses. So those are obviously very difficult to stay in, and you often do get 1-2s and 2-2s and stuff. So kind of a bummer way to start off the drafts, but a very fun deck overall, and kind of cool to start things off with a off-color pair here, green-black, instead of one of the allied colors. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell YouTube algorithm to send us more and recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, and check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.